Alright, well, we're going to do something a little different this time. We're going to put this together, the A160 J3 Skylark, which is a cub. This is the Will Toys edition. I wanted to get it and try it out because it's got the ailerons, unlike a lot of these other ones that are around $100. I paid $120 for mine, but I got 3 batteries with it. We'll find out if they came in the package or not. And it doesn't say Will Toys on the box, but it does here on this sticker, and I looked up other places and it actually says it on eBay too. But I got this off of eBay. So let's get to it. Let's get started and see how easy it is to put together. Alright. Let's get it out of the box. Oh, it looks like it's upside down. Comes back in there pretty good, doesn't it? Back in there pretty nice. It's like somebody's gone through it. Let's take a look. Okay, it's got actual servos, not the little things that the E-Flight Turbo Timber has, which is, I don't know what they call those kind of servo. Wing looks pretty sturdy. I guess we'll find out. One wing. Two wings, well that's good, we're batting 1,000. Let's do the charger it comes with. Fuselage is pretty nice. That tail wheel, we got springs. It's pretty nice. Actual clevises here. They even have the little rubber secure them in place, and so you don't have to put your own on there. Just don't mind. It's actually a really good looking little model. Looks like we have 1 battery in here. Wow, that's quite a long battery for such a small plane, isn't it? 600 milliamp. 7.4 volt 2-cell. We should have 2 more in this package somewhere. Let's put that back in there for now. I remember how this came out. Instructions. I would imagine they're probably very rough English. Yeah. Generally when you order something like this, they come straight from China. They don't exactly word it the way you would word it in America. Definitely a lot of Chinese writing. I looked over it. It's one thing I did look at earlier, and basically it just explains how to screw on the wings and the tail section. That's really all you got to do. Put on the landing gear. So we'll set that aside. Set this aside. Nice little landing gear with, wow, springs. Cool. Wonder how long that'll last. There's our tail, elevator. Again, real weird foam, real pliable. Hey, there's my extra 2 batteries. Now this version you can order for like $108 with 1 battery. 2 batteries is $114 or $15, and 3 batteries is $120. 3 batteries ought to be plenty. Those are good little batteries too. Another couple of things I could use those in. And here's the hardware kit. It's like springs for the wing struts, the wing bolts, the spinner, a screwdriver, and an extra prop. Oh, an extra spinner too, huh? That's already got a spinner, so that's good. So far, you get a lot of bang for your buck. Let's check out this controller. Now, here's the difference between the Horizon Hobby stuff. Is this comes with its own. So you can't use your favorite controller unless you replace the receiver, which it does show that you can do that in the instruction. Well, that's pretty cool. I imagine it takes 4 batteries. 4 batteries. So not a bad little airplane. Now let's get it put together. Alright. So it tells you to put your wings on first, which they just slide together and snap according to the instructions. See the snap right there. I don't know how you make it. I guess they'll put together. You could always put a piece of clear tape over this too. So I'm not going to put the wings on first. I'm going to put the horizontal tail on first. So then you get the screwdriver out. And get the bag open. I'm going to magnetize my screwdriver. I had a cameraman that'll show you how I just did that. You just rub it against any magnet and it'll magnetize your screwdriver. When you're dealing with little bitty parts like this, it's a good idea to do that. It makes it a lot easier, a lot less painful to do little screws. Boy, it's got all kinds of little screws. So let's see if the instructions actually give you an idea of which screw. It doesn't show any of the screws. That's interesting. Huh. I guess you gotta guess. Well, we know the wings don't have screws. They have these little things. Boy, they came with a lot of screws. Interesting. There's only a place for one screw. Came with a lot of extra parts, apparently. Wow. That's strange. Okay, so the landing gear takes 2 screws. I see that. So it's probably the smaller ones. And then we know the 1 screw, so that's going to be a long screw back there for sure. Okay, and then another long screw right there. Okay, I think we got this. Get this under here without bending it. Might be a challenge. Oh, I see. So you're supposed to slide it under the 2 rods and then glass it. Bring it up and really bend the crap out of them. And then jam it back in there. Boy, that was kind of tight. Put these up now. That popped on there real good. That one's popped on there pretty good. So here's our, see what I mean by the magnetizing? Really helps. Oops. Well, not having back there. Let's take the little ones too. That one actually feels like it's screwing into something, the other one did not. It's definitely on there. Alright, so that's that. Now me personally, I would put the landing gear on next, but it looks like it doesn't tell you where any of the screws go. Okay, so the landing struts and the landing gear, the wing struts and the landing gear screw together at the same time. So that's why they put the wing on first. I guess that makes sense. So here we have little screw connections. I'm guessing it doesn't matter which is which, hopefully. Make that connection. I guess you're supposed to tuck them on here. Yep. It's got to go like. There it went. So that goes like that. These on the top. These are just little plastic. Probably not very strong. Don't turn. You're supposed to turn 90 degrees. Turn about 10 degrees. Push down hard on it. Yeah, you won't turn it all. Alright, on closer inspection, these little wing nuts that are supposed to fasten down through these holes here, they're not even close to long enough to do that, one. And number two, you have to tape the wires to the servos. There's little grooves grooved out there you can see in the wing. You got to tape that down to get it even close to fitting flat. So I'm going to struggle with this for a few more minutes. If I can't get these little wing lock nuts to lock, I'll just end up gluing the wing on. But I'm going to give it a go, and just wanted to show you that. It's not the best design, that's for sure. Okay, so what I had to do was notch out that plastic in there. See how it's cut out, and then shoved it down in there. Now, when I put the wing bolts in and turned them to the right, that happened on both of them. So, not getting a very good review so far. So I'm probably going to go ahead and glue the wings on, but that's what I had to do in order to get the wing on, period. And then when I stuck the little wing bolt through and twisted it, it just broke off. Alright, now this is why they have you put the wing on after the gear, because these little wing struts go underneath where the gear snaps in and screws. Like so. Snaps in, and then put the two screws in on the top, and that'll hold the gear on. So I'm going to do that real quick, and we'll come right back. Alright, so that's finished up. Again, nowhere in the instruction manual does it tell you which screws to use. I used the smaller self-tapping screws here, and they worked out perfect. On the back, you use the two middle-sized screws that come with the kit, not the really long ones, for the tailpiece. And those are the only screws that you have to put in. But landing gear looks like it's going to be pretty sturdy, and the wing struts are definitely functional. They give it that wing a lot more stiffness. So you might want to put a dab of glue where the wing strut goes into the wing there, because they're just popped in there. So you might want to do that, but I'm going to fly it first and make sure everything's good before I glue anything, including the wing and my broken wing bolts. It seems pretty stiff, and it's on there pretty good where I think it'll be okay. So all in all, it's a good looking little airplane. I did notice that one piece of the top of the dummy engine is missing, and it wasn't in the box, so I don't know why it's missing on this side, but it is. And then you got the the horizontal stabilizer in the back. It's just a little bit crooked. I put a little shim in it, but it's still a little high there on the right side, if you can see. Hopefully it doesn't affect the flying too bad, but I guess we'll find out. So it's a decent little airplane. It went together like really big pain, because everywhere, and I mean everywhere in this instruction book, it just says screw. It doesn't say which screw. It doesn't give you a picture of the screw. It just says screw. So they give you a bunch of screws, but they don't tell you which screw is for what on any of it. Also, when you're going to match up the radio and you don't want it on the, it's got this airplane has flight stabilization mode, and I don't want that because it's harder for me to fly with it. In other words, in order to set your radio up with it not turned on, if you don't want the flight stabilization, you turn the radio on first. You hit the upper right button and you make that flash like that. Then you plug your battery into the airplane, and as soon as you plug your battery into the airplane, it will automatically go to 3D, which is what they call it in the instructions, and you won't have that gyro. Once the battery's in the airplane and it's set, then you can hit this button again and it stops blinking, and it'll fly in that mode the whole time. That's the only way I've figured out how to change modes. It says in the instructions that you can do it while you're flying, but that's not true. The only way you can do it is when you're turning your radio on and putting the battery into the airplane. Alright, well, I hope the Will Toys little cub, the A160 J3 Skylark is what they call it. Hope the review and build was good enough for some of you to follow along and maybe be aware of when you do build one of these, if you do get one. It's a good looking little airplane, but it's quite a pain to put together. It's not that simple. All because of the instructions. I'm sure that it goes together real simple, but the instructions don't give you a very simple way to do it because they're not really in very good English at all. So the next step is to go fly this. Thanks for watching. Please like and subscribe.